After years of covering video games, one might assume that they've seen everything, yet developers continue to create brilliant experiences each year, even within retro genres. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo, developed by Pocket Trap, feels like a sort of Frankenstein adventure that encapsulates the best aspects of Game Boy Advance era titles. From its opening moments, you know that you're playing something special. As new abilities unlock and milestones are reached, you realize you're playing a genuinely must-play Yo-Yo-Vania. Yes, this review will mostly be about how awesome Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo is, so let's just get right into it. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo does have a narrative, and while it's delivered in small bites, there's quite a lot to unpack. Pipit is a young boy who dreams of being a yo-yo master among other things. He's not necessarily good at the sport, which often leads him to reach out to his auntie for money. It's established early on that the Pipistrello family holds incredible power over the city and surrounding businesses. While life for the residents is not bad, but Madame Pipistrello is known for working with others only when it benefits her. This is likely why a group of companies has banded together, stored Madame's soul power, divided it into 4 batteries, and then accidentally turned her into a yo-yo. And from there, Pipit and Madame must reclaim the batteries and revive the company. Shortly after the first boss, you kind of realize that none of these characters are inherently good. Pipit is somewhat lazy, but extremely self-motivated and wouldn't mind having a more normal life. Madame resembles corporate greed and the loopholes companies use to stronghold competition. As a team, they have a lot to learn from one another, and this is explored in subtle ways throughout the narrative. When you reach various stages, you can encounter boss characters who could have been used more in late game plot devices, but they at least matter during their respective stages. Outside of the narrative is a lot of gameplay. Players familiar with GBA-era Zelda games will feel right at home. Movement and discovery come naturally in the opening hours, leading to new abilities and increases in HP, BP, and skills. Unlike other Yo-Yo-Vanias, there is some choice here. You can decide the order of certain bosses that you tackle, and if you don't want to revisit areas for optional gear, you don't actually have to. I saved a lot of the cleanup around town for New Game Plus and completed the main story at a natural pace. The game can become extremely challenging in late game stages, so if you are struggling, definitely return to earlier areas to grab more HP. From the opening, you can explore the city and talk to NPCs. Some events ask you to gather items in exchange for rewards, but it's up to you how to approach this optional content. Luckily, everything is marked on the map once you discover it, so you don't need to remember every location. The map is extremely detailed whether you're on the overworld or in dungeons. I was actually never lost, and it even helps me plan out strategies through tough puzzle sections as it shows locked and unlocked paths in certain rooms. Gameplay divides into city exploration with various dungeons scattered across the map. Yes, the Zelda inspiration is very obvious. Along the way, you'll find branching paths and optional challenges. Some areas do require specific abilities, but more often than not, you just need to master yo-yo skills in order to progress. In its basic form, the yo-yo lets you pick up objects from afar and ricochet off walls, and also use it as a weapon. Over time, you can ride it, use it to cross gaps, detach it from its string, and even wall ride. Traversal abilities are mapped to button shortcuts, so muscle memory eventually carries you through tougher sections. You can chain multiple yo-yo tricks to overcome obstacles, creating frantic moments as you dash across deadly courses and recall which moves are needed for win. Not all obstacles demand specific moves though. I managed to sequence break a couple of sections, but I played on default settings and the difficulty mainly just affects the HP and not actually the puzzle complexity. The game is smart with its puzzle design though, but the wall ride ability actually feels a little overpowered when cleaning up old puzzles, yet every mechanic works symbiotically and culminates in a gauntlet of a final dungeon. Enemies are relentless and aim to just kill you, and that's their only goal. While basic yo-yo tech can defeat them, you can equip badges that alter encounters, such as adding fire damage to the yo-yo or increasing invincibility frames after being hit. These badges can be upgraded to use less BP, which is required to equip multiples if you want them. The upgrade system only needs money, but it could have been more creative. Most of the upgrades merely just lower the BP costs rather than strengthening the effects, which I think is a downside. Upgrading Pipit follows a similar pattern where you enter contracts that require payments and impose negative effects. The system is kinda cool, but the benefits rarely outweigh the penalties like -2 attack or health. As the game went on, I just didn't need the upgrades, so I stopped entering contracts and I got through fine. Still, eventually you unlock new yo-yo attacks that let you swing it overhead or parry projectiles. However, only one of these moves can be active at a time, so battles never get too wild. The main takeaway is how much fun I had with this adventure. Whenever I grew comfortable with the mechanic, the developers introduced a clever new obstacle. Exploring the city is very charming, with NPCs offering story insights and silly fetch quests. The fast travel system and New Game Plus keep the journey alive after the credits, and that is exactly what I did. All in all, I couldn't get enough of the soundtrack, characters, and yo-yo action, and I'm glad that I experienced it. Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo is an amazing adventure that elevates its inspirations to a new level of creativity. I was pleasantly challenged throughout the campaign, yet each milestone provided a reward that made it tough to put down. The surprisingly deep narrative is the icing on top, delivering nuanced moments of introspection that I didn't expect. Hopefully, this isn't the last time we see Pipit. But who am I kidding? Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo is a certified banger, so we will most definitely see him again, if only to remind everyone how cool yo-yos are. Noisy Pixel is giving Pipistrello and the Cursed Yoyo a 9 out of 10. Thanks for watching. This video is brought to you by our supporters on Patreon. Noisy Pixel is run by a group of gamers providing independent gaming coverage through news, reviews, previews, and more. Check out our Patreon to help support our continued growth, and subscribe to keep up with all our future content.
Noisy Pixel.